Welcome to Awards Buzz. I am Shadan Larki.
Hello, I'm Gabriel Domingues.
Gabriel, you have been shortlisted for the Oscars for Best Casting. It's the first year that the Academy Awards are doing a Best Casting category, and you have been shortlisted. First of all, what does it mean that the Academy is now recognizing casting as an award? That must be so exciting, not just for you, but for your craft and for your part of the industry.
Yes, no, I'm super excited of the fact that I've been nominated and shortlisted to this first year. I understand that the casting directors in the US, they are struggling and fighting for this knowledge, the whole thing. And for me, I'm Brazilian, I it's like it's a super honor to be comparing with so many experienced casting directors who did many movies I admire and did many. I don't know. They have so much experience in the American industry. I'm super excited to. I feel that it's my first contact with the American industry, and it's super good, super nice.
Well, I'm so thrilled to have this opportunity to get to know you a little bit more. The first thing I have to acknowledge is that The Secret Agent has such a massive cast, um, and I just want you to be able to talk about that, about having to find so many people, because I feel like that's one of the many things that are underappreciated about casting and for The Secret Agent in particular.
Yes, the cast of Secret Agents is very big and it's very diverse.
Mm-hmm.
Kleber wrote this amazing script, and on it has like very specific characters with specific characteristics and specific origins. So it was a challenge to create this whole human landscape of people with with all the identity and the whole dramatic aspects, everything everybody should have to play the roles. I guess that it's a movie that it's it, it's on the 70s. The movie is on the 70s. So we had that on mind. It was really interesting to thinking about what makes someone possible to look like a character that exists in the 70s. Like it's a, I don't know, a specific air people used to have in the 70s, and also physical appearance characteristics that people don't have anymore. So that's what we were always paying attention to this. It's a mystery. We don't know the answer, I
Mm-hmm.
guess, but we try to feel what makes someone possible to look like a people that existed in the 70s. And the whole movie have this I don't know, this energy of the colors and this vivid aspect, the vibrating ambient of Recife in the 70s. I guess that Kleber wanted to recreate Recife in a very original and alive kind
Mm-hmm.
of of a image, and of course the actors and the whole cast gotta be just as alive and as everything else, you know.
I'm so glad you mentioned that. I read an interview with you that was absolutely fascinating where you did talk about that, about finding people who look like they actually belong in the 70s. And I think, both you and I have probably had experiences where you watch a movie and it takes you out of it because you just know that this person, they don't fit, right? And one of the things that you mentioned in that other interview that I thought was so interesting, you said that there's something about the eyes, like you look to, there's something that you look for. Can
Yes.
you tell me about that? That's so fascinating.
Yes, it is, and it was fascinating for me as well, trying to discover what it is. I guess that I don't know. We use as reference many images of the 70s, historical images, and we watch documentaries, and we have this reference uh, of people. And then I don't know. By some time, we understood that people have something, some sadness, I don't know, some melancholy in
Mm.
the eyes that fits in the atmosphere of the sevens. I don't know if it has something to do with how we are nowadays familiar to technology and everything else, and we're always taking photos of ourselves, and I don't know, it might have changed something. Uh, but by the time when people were looking at a camera or something like that, they have
Mm.
some naiveness. I don't know, something like that, which makes it interesting thinking about the casting process to pay attention on how people look at things, how people feel
Mm.
things, how people present themselves. For example, there are two characters that I feel it mostly. Of course, I could tell about, I could talk about other characters, but these three characters reminds me of this reflection. The teenager guy who lives in Dona Tanya's house, Dona Sebastiana's house, and Kleber wanted this guy to be someone who moved from the countryside to the city recently, and he's a teenager and he's been rejected by his parents because his parents doesn't accept him.
Mm.
Uh, and I don't know. We found this actor amazing, Robson Andrade, and he has some sadness in his eyes, some melancholy in his eyes. He doesn't seem like a teenager from nowadays. Like he seems like a teenager from other time, which is very beautiful, I guess, to construct the
Mm.
whole atmosphere of the movie.
Mhm. I spoke to your colleagues, the editors of The Secret Agent, and they brought up this really interesting point about when you're editing non-actors versus actors and how sometimes there's a difference in that approach. So, as the casting director, how did you approach that? Because you have Wagner Mora, the great Udo Kier, who we just lost this year, and then you have these non-actors that you brought in. How did you find that balance? What is the difference in your job when you're looking for like a seasoned actor? I'm sure maybe you look for something different versus a non-actor.
Yes. Well, I guess most of them were actors or
Mm.
actors in different stages of the career. We had
Mm-hmm.
like very famous actors, very known actors with experienced actors in a very good position on the movie industry, Brazilian
Mm-hmm.
movie industry, but we also have like people from I don't know, small towns who are, I don't know, who have a career in theater or something like that, who never had an experience in the movie business. And then we auditioned them, we were trying to understand how do they relation create relation with the cinema language and everything else, trying to figure it out how if it would work or not. And but I really think that yes, it's in specific characteristics of working with Kleber, because he told me since the beginning we will use the same system as we used in other movies, which was
Mm-hmm.
like this, mixing stars with still unknown talents, but
Mm-hmm.
and other actors who hasn't done nothing. Like, so it's an interesting mix and composition of the casting. We did an open call and we received a large amount of material because everybody wants to work with Kleber because he's so recognized here in Brazil, and that was it. I was trying to understand
Mm-hmm.
which which actor could fit each role.
That's That's so fascinating. Was there a particular role that like you felt like you had to fight for the most or like particularly difficult? Because to me, like it all felt like it fit together like a puzzle. I keep using that word, but it just felt like everything came together so smoothly. But was there a piece that was like particularly challenging?
There were one character which was very hard to cast was the killer, the guy they hired to kill Marcelo, because
Mm-hmm.
Kleber wanted him to have a very specific appearance, like a very specific look, and Kleber shared with me this reference of this famous killer from the 70s, a guy named the killer from Serra Talhada, and Serra Talhada is a place in Pernambuco. It's a city in Pernambuco, and we watched a documentary, a journalistic documentary of about this guy, and we used it as a reference to think about this character, you know, because he was terrifying. We look at him and we felt fear. So we have to try to find someone who have these aspects, and we find Caio Venâncio, which was he's a great actor. He plays the Vilmar, the killer,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know. That's also something about the eyes, because he has some coldness, some craziness, some possibility of constructing a psychopathic eyes. You know,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
there are some actors who gives us there, and others that.
Yeah, absolutely. You mentioned like you had such specific descriptions of sort of what each character was supposed to feel like, even the minor characters. And you've said that that in some ways made things more difficult because you were looking for such a specific thing. I guess do you have a preference of like of that of like having a specific thing versus not? And like in this case with the secret agent, it was probably a mix because sometimes your background characters like I'm just so curious about that specificity.
Specificities.
Mhm.
Well, for example, the lady who plays Teresa Vitoria, the actress who plays Teresa Vitoria, the woman from Angola who is also a refugee, and
Mhm.
she lives in Dona Sebastiana's house. Kleber has had on his mind the clear idea on how that woman should look, and for him it was very important that she has a strong. Accent from
Mm.
Angola, because she read the article of the hairy leg,
Mhm.
and the whole article it's the voiceover is her voice, and for him it was very important uh, that his woman has this accent from Angola, and because during the 70s he met a woman like that he has on his mind, you know. That's the kind of specific aspects I'm mentioning, and also a lady who plays Dash Doris, which is the cleaning woman, a woman who works as a, I don't know, cleaning lady in the public office Marcelo will
Mm.
work, and that's it. Kleber had also a very specific idea on how a woman on this position in the 70s should look, you know, because Brazil in the 70s it was even more unequal than it is nowadays. So the social places and the social marks were more, I don't know, contrasted. So Kleber has a very specific idea on how this woman, and I presented him many of them till we find this amazing actress. That's an example.
That's again so see I want to make sure we highlight that because I think a lot of times when we're watching movies like one of the things we take for granted is the casting because they're just there. They're part of the film. We don't think about the fact that it's your job to find everyone and like put all these people together. That's just so incredibly fascinating. And again, I think we just take for granted how difficult it is.
I'm sorry, I didn't
I
get
said,
it.
I said, I think we take for granted how difficult it is to be able to find all these people that fit together so beautifully. Like,
Yes, it is difficult because they have, I don't know, different origins. They
mm,
came from different cities, and it's
mm,
very difficult. We have to try and audition and try again, and then keep on trying.
mm-hmm.
It's a long process. The cast of this movie was a very long process.
Well, can you tell me more about that? And I always think like in a post-COVID world, or like when people can send in self-tapes, like were you auditioning in person? Like were you looking at tapes? What were sort of the logistics of such a large endeavor?
Yes, we did many different kinds of
Mm,
approaches on the process because we did an open call to receive material from everyone who wants to be part of the movie, actor, professional actor or
mm,
not,
mm-hmm,
and they send a video presenting themselves, and then we found some interesting people there. But also, I did research on my conventional ways, like the actors I know, the places
mm,
I've been, and I use my experience on the research, and uh, and sometimes we ask for self tapes, and sometimes we did audition presentially, but it was a very important part of the process, even for who sent the self tape. There was another part of the process that the actor or the actress meet Kleber and talk about the movie and be presented and be introduced to him and to see everything else, you know. So
mm.
it was a very long process.
Did you were you on set when they were filming?
No, I
Oh,
was
okay.
only in the part of São Paulo.
Okay. So what was it like to watch it and see all these people that you found actually performing? That must be such a fascinating, like,
I love this part. I
yeah.
love seeing the scenes and seeing how it worked.
Mm-hmm.
But I usually have the feeling when, well, that's part of my job, like to have this feeling that it will fit, the energy
Yeah.
of them together will work, like
Yeah. And that's what's so,
it's always a very emotional thing.
that's exactly what I was gonna say. It's like an art, this sort of combination of your natural instincts versus like the research that you have to do, and those both of those things have to come together.
Yes, but you know, that's very natural when
Mm,
I'm casting, when I'm doing casting, because we are creating a mosaic of people.
mm,
So the whole energy gotta be like they gotta fit. So I'm always looking to the overall,
mm,
the whole part, like, so that's very natural, and it defines when you choose someone, you gotta choose others. Like it's something to think as a whole part,
mm-hmm,
you know.
mm-hmm. Is there anything that I haven't asked you about that you wanted to mention, particularly, like I said, maybe a challenge that may not occur to somebody watching, but something that was specifically challenging for you?
Well, let me see. I don't know. I think I told I talked about all
Mm,
the challenges I have.
mm.
I
Well,
had.
thank you so much for your time. This was just such a inspiring casting to see how it all came together, and I'm glad I got to pick your brain about it. I wish you the best of luck. I know you said this is sort of your introduction to the American world, but I hope that we get to see you many more times. I just think you're brilliant. So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, thank you. No, well, I'm super happy of talking to you, and I hope that too.